when you go to the deli, the person will know you by first name. So it has this small town feeling. The kids still ride their bikes all over town. The kids are downtown. And then they're also playing yard games at nighttime. And just kind of how I remember being a kid.
LaGrange wasn't supposed to be loud. It was designed to be orderly, predictable. A place where life moved at a reasonable pace and, ideally, didn't surprise you too much. Of course, towns have a funny way of ignoring plans, because somewhere between the trains rolling through, the storefronts changing hands, and a few laws being quietly rewritten, LaGrange became something else. Not chaotic, just alive. And it didn't start yesterday.
He was a gentleman, and he wanted to have a quality community. He had some financial means. He was fairly wealthy, so he put a lot of his own money into buying the property and making it appealing to someone who wanted to move west, especially after the Chicago fire. That's what accelerated his move.
You know, the city, I had read some statistics, I'm not sure if it's exact, but like 1 of every 13 businesses was a saloon. So there's a lot of drinking, a lot of dirt, you know, a lot of coal in the air, you know, and oil, and it was just dirty and cramped. And I think he thought that there were people looking for more, and this would be close and easy to access. So, you know, combination of those things taking place and the fire, I think, probably moved more people out there.
He really had a vision. He wanted to plan a community that was just an ideal place for families to live. He lined the streets with trees. He plotted out the streets. He wanted it to have the appearance of being carved out of a forest rather than built on a prairie.
Is famous for his remark that he who plants a tree lives for posterity.
He really wanted quality in his community. He wanted the churches. He wanted the schools. He wanted to have a place where people would desire to live.
No saloons, number 10 on the list was no saloons. He felt he really wanted a very wholesome family community.
He even built some of those requirements into some of the land contracts.
Yeah, they were in the land deeds. There was a prohibition on alcohol, using alcohol.
In your own house?
Mm.
What?
There was a reversion clause. Anyone buying a piece of property, he sold them, they could not serve, manufacture, or drink alcohol in their homes. Were in each one of the contracts that everyone who bought a piece of property here had to sign, because if any of those terms were broken, the property would revert to the firm of Cossett and Company or any of Cossett's heirs.
You had every village board from Cossett on up to the 80s saying, you know, no saloons to this day. But then we started to see some of the businesses leaving, then a lot of the businesses leaving and closing. And you started to see towns around us with these big kind of supper club restaurants having a good time. And it was proposed by somebody that maybe we should consider allowing full-service restaurants with liquor licenses. Some people were like, absolutely not. And some people said, maybe we should. It was voted controversial, room-packed decision by the residents, but the board voted to allow it. But shortly after that, some businesses expanded to have a full-service restaurant and a bar and drinks. And then another one, and then another one. Someone thinking, I know this is kind of in the, the constitution of the founder, but we need to change. We need to think about things that might help us change. As people can see, if they live in this town now or they've come through it, we've got a lot of restaurants, and it probably is one of the things that saved this town.
And yes, that change came with wine glasses, with crowded reservations. And I know putting lobster in slow motion this close to dinner feels reckless. But this isn't about the lobster. Hold on. Franklin Cossett had a vision, but vision alone doesn't build a town. Something else did. The railroad. We know who imagined this town. We've heard the rules, the contracts, the trees planted for posterity. But vision needs something else. It needs access. Before there were parades, before there were patios, before there were land clauses about what could be poured in a living room, there were tracks, steel laid across prairie, lines cutting west from Chicago. Not decorative, not symbolic, functional. The railroad didn't arrive politely. It arrived with weight, with smoke, with schedules that did not wait for anyone. And suddenly, this stretch of land was no longer distant. It was reachable. After the Great Fire reshaped Chicago, people looked outward. They wanted air, space, order. But they also needed a way back. The rails made that possible. Commute before the word felt modern. Connection before the highway existed. Commerce moving in one direction. Opportunity in the other. Franklin Cossett didn't choose empty land by accident. He chose proximity. He chose motion. Because a town can be carefully planned, but without movement, it remains an idea. 2 stations would eventually mark this place. 2 points where doors open, where mornings begin, where evenings return. Stone Avenue, Grange Road. Twice a day, every day, people step off steel and into tree-lined streets. That rhythm, arrival and return, is older than the restaurants, older than the theater. Older even than most of the houses. It's the quiet engine beneath everything. Because what built this town wasn't just a vision, it was the decision to connect it. Once the rails were here, they didn't just carry commuters, they carried ambition. Freight cars rolled through with more than cargo. They carried steel, grain, machinery, ideas moving faster than they ever had before. The line that cut through here became part of something larger, a corridor of invention stretching beyond the horizon. And then came a different kind of speed, streamlined, polished, confident, the age of diesel. The Pioneer Zephyr didn't look like the past. It looked like tomorrow, stainless steel flashing in the sun. Engines humming instead of roaring. A train that felt less like transportation and more like momentum. The future didn't crawl west. It arrived on schedule. Innovation has a funny way of changing the places it passes through. You build a stop, then a station, then a platform where strangers stand side by side, heading somewhere else or coming home. And slowly, a suburb becomes something more than quiet streets. It becomes connected, layered, aware of the world beyond its borders. Even now, long after the steam has faded and the zephyr rests in museum light, the rhythm continues.
Nothing launches our summer in LaGrange like the LaGrange Pet Parade. And I think because it's right at the beginning of the summer every single year, it enables the former residents of the town of LaGrange, or anybody who has a passion for the LaGrange Pet Parade, to decide to travel to LaGrange. So we get all the people coming home. So yeah, the parade is like a huge party. It's quite multi-generational. So grandma comes and visits, she brings her grandchildren to the parade. It's a big family experience. You know what it isn't? It isn't an opportunity for you to stare at your phone.
The Pet Parade started in 1947. My dad was president of the Chamber of Commerce, 1947 through 51. So he and several local business people were just talking about things they could do to bring people to LaGrange to shop and to know more about LaGrange. So they came up with this idea of having a pet parade.
A lot of block parties go after the parade, and it's one of the most beloved happenings in LaGrange.
It's the start of summer.
It's probably rained in 78 years. It may have rained 3 times. And I can tell you when Bob's dad was running the parade, that would be the first 50 years, it never rained one day. So I think we can kind of blame Bob. So I do think it will continue. Will we be at the 100th? Probably not. But I believe it will happen. I believe that
That's what we want.
We're taking the steps forward,
Yes.
so that it doesn't go away, because it is too beloved by the community.
Summer doesn't ask permission here. It just arrives, with folding rides and temporary fences, with generators humming behind the Ferris wheel, with the kind of light that makes everything feel like a memory before it's even over. By sunset, the parking lot becomes something else. Lights flicker on. Music bleeds into the warm air. Someone wins a stuffed animal they'll forget by August. And for a few nights, this orderly town lets itself spin. By morning, the tents rise where traffic usually sits. Canvas snapping lightly in the breeze. Cherries dark as ink. Greens still carrying the memory of soil. Someone presses fruit into a glass, sunlight passing straight through it. No spectacle, just color, just hands, just what was grown a few miles away. It doesn't look historic. It doesn't feel revolutionary. But this is how a town stays alive. Not all at once, just week after week.
We have a West End art fair, brings renowned artists to town, and people come from all over.
The West End Art Festival is a really fun part of the summer experience. jazz bands, but sometimes they have like rock and roll bands and these wonderful things. What's great about the West End Art Fair is that the artists that they select, there's a high bar for the standards at which they're interested in having this particular vendor selling at the West End Art Fair. And so it makes it for a very fabulous high-end event.
By afternoon, the sidewalks turn into a gallery. Canvas, metal, oil paint drying in real time. People nod thoughtfully, tilt their heads, pretend they understand texture. And then, 20 feet away, plastic cups, sun-warmed ice. No curator in sight. Doesn't seem to matter, just lemonade.
West End's really, really charming. It's just like, it's a little bit slower paced than downtown LaGrange. Downtown LaGrange is wonderful, it's awesome, but I like our little pocket. I personally love the West End, and we chose to be on the West End. It's 2 blocks from my house, so that was one reason, but I like the West End because parking was really accessible. When we created Vintage Charm, I wanted it to be like in my community, and I wanted to add value to the community and a place where people could be proud of. Like that, I wanted it to be when you had family come in town that, oh, I've got to show you this store, or you've got to come see this. And it's become like a tradition almost. We see people that come in town and they bring their daughters every time they're home, or a family member. And I think that's what's the beauty of being in LaGrange. Like, I could be in a mall, but it doesn't interest me in the least, because it's the actual experience when you get people coming in and saying, I'm so happy you're here, thank you so much. Across from Stone Avenue Station, we have Vintage Charm, Little Charm, and Four Sons Mercantile. Little Charm is for kids. It's baby gifts and clothing too. And then Four Sons Mercantile is like the men's version of Vintage Charm.
If you want to understand a town, don't start with its history. Start with its morning. Watch who opens the doors, who turns on the lights, who's already working while the rest of us are negotiating with the snooze button. This is what a day in LaGrange feels like. When the rails first cut through here, they didn't call it a stop. They called it the milk stop. That was how LaGrange began to wake, not with headlines, but with the sound of morning light arriving on the tracks. And now, nearly 2 centuries later, there's a place that carries that same rhythm. A place where breakfast spills into coffee, where familiar faces meet familiar flavors, and where being a neighborhood favorite has more to do with how people feel than what's on the plate. There's a rhythm here that feels older than the walls. Recipes carried across oceans, passed down through flour-dusty hands, made from scratch again. Bread and pastry aren't just food here. They're memory. They're celebration. You don't just watch the dough rise. You watch tradition take shape. And somewhere between flour and fire, a morning in LaGrange starts to taste like the world. Morning was polite, quiet, intentional. But this is when LaGrange stretches a little, steps outside, pretends it wasn't waiting for this part all along. By 11:30, the town has made up its mind. Doors swing wider, conversations get louder. Someone checks the time and realizes they're already late for something that isn't urgent. This is the hour when errands turn into detours, when lunch becomes a decision, and when a small town starts to feel unexpectedly expansive.
So we have all these sorts of different offerings to the community to come in and learn about art, learn how to create art, learn what art means. Levels of classes. We have classes for beginners. Some people are serial classists. That is, they take the first class and go, wow, this is great. They take the second, then the third. And we have 33 separate classes, class offerings. These and workshops as well. These range from acrylics to watercolors to oil, even some more obscure ones like a charcoal drawing or encaustics.
Here, wares aren't just sold, they're lived. A place where a weathered door swings open, not because you need something, but because curiosity nudges you inside. A shirt, a tool, a book, each one carries a story, a choice, a reason someone walked in today. And that's why midday strolls matter. A shop like Jack's isn't a stop. It's a small celebration of taste, of curiosity, of a town that rewards the wanderer. In some corners of town, the rhythm slows. Hands working with oil, herbs, earth, and water. Simple things shaped with care. No rush, no spectacle. Just scent, texture, light through a front window, small details that quietly become part of someone's day. Sometimes a town reveals itself in the way it handles the ordinary. Some places in town don't just sell things, they cultivate them. Here, hands shape green rhythms, vessels and leaves arranged like quiet conversations, textures that speak without sound. It's not about plants in the usual way. It's about attention, about taking something living and giving it a place to belong. There's a sound a town makes when it decides the morning is over. It starts with a pour, then another. Glass catching light. Foam climbing higher than it probably should. Steel lined up in the back, doing its quiet work. You can tell a lot about a place by what it builds behind closed doors and what it's willing to serve in daylight. And by now, the polite version of the day has stepped aside. Because lunch here isn't an interruption, it's an agreement. By 3:30, the day knows exactly what it is. The rush has passed. The lunch crowd has declared victory. And what's left isn't noise, it's character. This is the hour when you start to notice who's really here, who built this place, who decided it was worth staying. And that's where the story gets personal.
We have the best margaritas in town.
Yeah, we do fresh mango.
Yes, we have the fresh mango, fresh guava, fresh tamarindo.
And the town took me in open arms in '94, and I felt that we needed to stay here, and I'm glad that we did. And I say, Mom, if I own my own place someday, I'm gonna name it Santiago's. She goes, why? I go, because that's Grandpa. She goes, oh, but why don't you name it something else? And I go, no, I want to honor Grandpa. Okay, what's the best tequila? The one that you enjoy. I enjoy all of it. So all the tequila is good. I really love making drinks. I love finding new tequilas. I love cooking. I'm in the bar, I'm on the floor. I'm in the kitchen. I like to create, especially if I'm in the kitchen.
Happened to be downtown, kind of like checked all the boxes. It was bigger.
So we bought the building here in LaGrange. I want impactful is what we'd like it to be.
Yes.
Things that really stick out and like, that was different. That was fun.
Experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you walk away, you're like, that was blessed.
Or authentic because we're doing our own thing and not just following what every cool thing in the industry is right now. We found the great things that we like, and we're always open to changing things, but it's always about having good quality. And that's one thing I really love about the restaurant community, especially in downtown LaGrange. It's all independently owned restaurants here.
Yeah.
Just when you have that, it's really cool because like the dollars you spend at those local restaurants actually stays in your community.
We really wanted to tie in kind of as a hospitality group, like we already invite the public into all of our restaurants. At event venues almost never invite the public in. So it'd be kind of fun to be able to cross-utilize.
By now, you've convinced yourself you're done eating. You're not. Because somewhere between 3:30 and I'll just have a snack, someone slices something impossibly precise. Cool rice, clean lines, a plate that looks more like a decision than a meal. You don't go looking for sushi in a small town. And then you realize, maybe the town isn't that small. And if sushi feels like restraint, Thai food doesn't. It arrives steaming, unapologetic, color doing what color does best. There's something bold about spice in the middle of the afternoon. Something that says, yes, this is still LaGrange, but it contains multitudes. Heat that lingers longer than you expected. You start to notice something. This town that once outlawed alcohol in living rooms now casually hands you curry at 3:45. That's not chaos. That's evolution. And then there's the classic. White paper bag, folded top. Steam fogging the inside before you make it home. No ceremony, no plating. Just the kind of takeout that's been feeding families longer than anyone remembers. Some cravings don't need reinvention. They just need a fork. You didn't think there'd be this many options. Last time someone counted, there were around 40 places to eat here. 40. Not bad for a town this size. By 6:30, the sidewalks hum a little louder. Reservations get honored. Patios fill. Someone says this is our spot, like it's a secret. And then you turn the corner and understand why they call it Restaurant Row. By dinner, the energy has changed again. It isn't loud, it's deliberate. Here, wood and steel meet flame, and seasonal harvests quietly declare themselves. It's a place that feels like the Midwest, only more thoughtful. Familiar ingredients, reimagined with care and a little swagger. Cocktails speak with their own accent. Plates arrive like invitations, and the rooftop light softens what was once just a corner of downtown. The patio becomes its own world, half sun, half shade, and all warmth. You hear guitars before you see them, notes weaving into conversation and laughter. This isn't background music. It's the soundtrack underneath the town settling into night. Steel strings and laughter meet air that smells like dinner and possibility. Here, people don't just eat. They slow down long enough to notice who they came with and who they might run into next. And then, if you keep walking, the music softens. The patio hum fades into something quieter. Candles replace stage lights. Conversation leans in instead of spilling out. Some dinners are celebrations, others are decisions. Plates arrive with intention, flavors layered, not rushed. Time stretching just a little longer than you expected. And somewhere near the end of the night, a dish catches the light. Not demanding attention, just quietly earning it. By now you understand. Restaurant Row isn't a stretch of pavement, it's a spectrum. By 8:30, the forks are down, patios thin out. The last table lingers a little longer than planned. The moon takes over where the sun left off. And now the question isn't what you're hungry for. It's where the night goes next. And somewhere on Main Street, the story starts over.
I actually came to this theater as a kid when it was a single screen theater and had a balcony. We looked at it a couple times to come back. It's such an iconic theater, and I jumped at the opportunity because this town has supported this theater for now over 100 years. And it really is just sort of Main Street. It's Main on Main Street, you know, front and center. It's all about memories. It's all about togetherness. I think the one thing that people forget about movie theaters is when you watch a movie at home, which people stream all day long, and that's great, but you're typically on your phone, you're not paying as close of attention. When you come here, it's a night out, it's a day out, it's together time.
People come from the Grange to go to the theater, but more so they come from around the area where they might be closer to a big theater, but they want the small town experience. So they come here and they shop and dine before they see a movie, or they shop and have dinner after, or ice cream after they see a movie. So that economic engine, which is the LaGrange Theater, drives and allows us to have the ability, I think, to have so many restaurants. If we didn't have that theater, I don't think we'd have that many. LaGrange recognizes that having that theater, especially in this day and age, is unique and important to the stability of this now restaurant town.
Getting out of the house, and probably most of all, getting offline. You know, you really don't, you don't even feel the need to be on your phone. It's one of the few places where you just like, let loose, take it in and immerse yourself. And that is the magic, you know, the magic of the movies. LaGrange was founded by Franklin Cossett with the idea of building a community to be very walkable. And we still have that. We have wonderful what we call our urban forest, over 10,000 trees in the village of LaGrange. The future is just, it's great. We have, and we're continuing to invest in the resources to make it more enjoyable and safe for everyone.
It's always the stories I've always heard and the stories I'm still a part of and seeing play out today are that it's never just what's the vision of the village. It is residents with good ideas coming to the village or getting together as a group. It is businesses as a group going to the residents or going to the village, or the village asking the residents, should we do this, should we not do this? That is what keeps it moving forward. That is where the ideas come from. It's no one place, but it's definitely pride of place, I think, that makes people feel that way. So you live here for a while, you've invested in it, you want it to stay this strong and better. You don't want to see it slip. I don't think LaGrange will need to look much different or will look much different 50 years from now. I don't think people seek to do much more. We're landlocked. We're not, we put up apartments and condos from time to time, but for the most part, it's going to look like this. Mm-hmm. And I don't think anyone wants it to look much different. It works.
Almost 150 years later, it's lived up to his, I believe, lived up to his dreams.
Franklin Cossett drew lines on a map. He imagined streets, trees, rules. He could not have imagined this. Not the parades in the rain. Not the restaurant row. Not the laughter on patios. Not the way a movie theater still glows on Main Street. But maybe that was never the point, because towns aren't preserved by plans. They're carried forward by people, by residents with ideas, by businesses taking risks, by neighbors who refuse to let something good slip away. Almost 150 years later, it doesn't look that different. It just feels more alive, and maybe that's the real measure of a place. Not how much it changes, but how much it keeps showing up